down. It is, of course, DJ Ash Noble here. Welcome to another stream. Today we have the first and the second gig announcements of 2025. Now, what I mean by this is, so last year we did a gig announcement that was for a gig in 2025. This is the first stream that I've done this year where I'm announcing gigs, essentially. So we've got two gig announcements. One of them is local, one of them is further afield. The local one is actually taking place next week, so it's nothing major, but it's going to be fun. So I'm going to announce that first and just kind of get it out of the way. So next week I am doing a little DJ showcase, if you like, at the Wrecking Ball Music and Books, which is like it's a record shop with a cafe at the back, and they have a music venue upstairs. And once a month there's a Gig Buddies night that takes place there, which is like for disabled people, and it's a really nice little environment place. I volunteer with Gig Buddies, and I have done for nearly 3 years now, which is crazy. And I'm usually there every second Tuesday of the month when their event takes place. And so basically I do occasionally perform there, and I do occasionally do stuff there, like, you know, they have open mic, and sometimes I'll grab the mic, and myself and the Layman, we've done our positive reggae tracks there before. I DJ'd there once before, way back, nearly 2 years ago now, and that was really fun to do. And so just basically, I'm going to be doing a little DJ set there next week. I'm going to do a little bit of a showcase because since the last time I DJ'd there, and it just in general, like, my whole DJ sets have changed lately, and the whole vibe and the whole way I do things. And I think, you know, I will be able to put on a good little show. Now, of course, I'm not going to go there and start blasting out the bounce, and probably not even going to blast out the Clubland, although I might be able to get away with maybe just like one or two tracks towards the end. But I'm going to have to keep it very more housey, party-based, very, very well known. So the people that normally come to this event that takes place the second Tuesday of every month, they'll like things like Don't Stop Believing, Living on a Prayer. They like stuff like you know, The Heart Will Go On from Titanic, and they like stuff like YMCA. And you know, and just general like party songs, really. So if I can play a few good remixes of these party songs, then I will probably be in for doing a, you know, quite a good gig. And I'll just play some like really well known stuff that'll be really good, and that hopefully, you know, we can get everybody up, we can get people dancing, we can get people, you know, singing and having a good time, essentially. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll only probably be on for half an hour to 45 minutes, maybe an hour at the max, but I think what will probably happen is, because they have an open mic section, and that is like a big part of the night, where they have this open mic section, and basically people will, you know, they'll request to sing songs, and they'll request to, you know, to do whatever. Some people read out poems, some people sing songs, you know, it all just kind of really depends. So, you know, whatever around that. So from my perspective, I will just come with a shed load of tracks, basically, and make sure there's enough so that I can either play background music between whatever's happening, or because I might go on and just play a little bit of, it doesn't really matter. and then basically, they'll do the open mic, and then I'll come back on, and then and then it'll really matter, and it'll be like, right, we need, we want to get everybody up, we want to get everybody dancing and jiving, essentially to, the best of our abilities. So yeah, so we'll definitely see what happens. I'm happy, not sad. I'm not happy, I am sad. Why? If you feel like saying, do follow up with the reason why. So, but yeah, that is basically the local gig. So the next one actually takes place, and I just bear with me ever so slightly, as I need to just double check the date again. But I think it's the 17th of April. But I'm just going to recheck the date very quickly, just so I don't get it wrong on the stream, and then you know when it's happening. So it's the 19th of April. I knew it was either the 17th or the 19th. So the 19th of April, I am heading all the way down to Shrewsbury, which is just at the yon side of Birmingham. No, I think it's just before Birmingham, so it's kind of like in between Leicester and Birmingham. So like you go to Leicester, you go a little bit further than Leicester. So it's a fair trek, and we're playing an event. So there's a hardcore room, and there's a bounce room, and it's looking like it's going to be really, really fun. So there's a hardcore room with the likes of Rob IYF, DJ Slay, Baz Record, Ben Addict, and Sly. Is it Sly Yankee, or something like that? And then we've got Boydie and stuff like that. And then there's a bounce room where there is the likes of Serious Sounds, Miss April, Tori Ann, myself, Bino, and FA3. So a good little room, a good little lineup of some DJs, and I'm quite sort of blessed to be on it, and I'm looking forward to making the trip down to a place that I've never been to before. I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully it's a good night. It starts at 7 p.m. It doesn't say what time it finishes. It's in a place called the Cellars, so I can only imagine that the venue is probably some kind of like real, almost like an undergroundy sort of kind of vibe. Probably like a real. I would imagine it might be on the way of like a club that doesn't necessarily look the poshest and the best, but it has a really good vibe to it. Like there's a place in Leeds called Beaverworks, and like it is honestly like it is just a mess. It's like it's a proper like warehouse. It's a proper real like like it's dusty. It's just a proper like you almost are just in like a big empty warehouse room, and there's just a sound system in it, and it really reminds you of the old warehouse days. For anybody that would have gone to the warehouse days like back in the late 80s, early 90s. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what time I'm on yet. That is yet to be, obviously announced. I believe that I'm staying over in a hotel. So what time I'm on won't really affect me too much, because I think I will arrive in good time before the event starts, and I will more than likely, if I'm on like a late-ish set, because I'm not heading back home and staying in a hotel, I will probably more than likely go to be able to do like a later set, and that is, by the way, not me opting to do the first or the last set. I don't like if I have to do them, like I don't mind doing them. First sets, I'm not really that keen on doing them, because especially when the smaller events, you don't always get the if it doesn't fill up, like and like for me, like when I'm traveling, like if I travel all the way down there and I just literally play to nobody because it's the first hour, like, I think when you're traveling, putting somebody on a first set is just not, especially like when there's people that live, far closer. It's not me saying that like I refuse first sets, because I don't, like I'll do them, but I just think, when you're traveling, for somebody like me who's, it's gonna take to get there, in a car. That's if I go via a car. I just think to do the first set, like when I've travelled a fair distance, so I'm hoping that my set time isn't too bad. I would imagine that the likes of like the serious sounds, they'll probably, they're like, I think they're the prime of like the bounce room, and then obviously Rob IYF is the prime of the hardcore room, as I'm believing there is two rooms. I don't think it's, I don't think it's the I don't think we're all just going to be in one room, because I don't think there'd be enough set times for us all. So I think it's going to be, again, around different, between two different rooms. As opposed to what set I'm going to play, I'm probably just going to wing it, in all fairness, because, like, in all fairness, like, I don't know what the vibe is going to be. There's a hardcore room and a bounce room, so they're definitely trying to rave it up. However, I still might end up going like very vocally. I still might end up going very on the terms of like doing like a sing along. I probably will end up singing along and playing some like cheesy stuff. I might play some of my own production and stuff like that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But essentially, I'm quite looking forward to it. So I'm quite pleased and buzzed, in all fairness. And yeah, we'll have a really good time. Coffee or tea? Oh. This is really difficult. Now, if you'd have asked me this a couple of years ago, I would have straight off said cup of tea. Now, the reason why it's so difficult now is I don't think as such I'm not a big coffee lover, as in, like, I like all, different types of coffees, but when I moved into my own flat, basically, my nan, bless her, got me these 3-in-1 coffee sachets, Nescafe, and they were quite nice. And I had them from time to time. And I ran out of the Nescafe one time, and I picked up some more sachet coffees. But this time I couldn't get the Nescafe, and I got these New York 3-in-1 coffees, and they are so gorgeous. Like, I have literally become addicted to them. I have them all the time. I barely drink tea now. I really love these New York coffees, and now occasionally, like if I'm out and about, I will have things like a latte. So I went to Wendy's a couple of weeks ago, on Boxing Day to be exact. I went to Wendy's, I believe it was, and yeah, I had a latte, and it was really nice. So I've definitely warmed towards like I've always liked coffee, but I just always like preferred tea, and I'm not one of these people that can have these really strong coffees. Like, I have to have, like, I like my coffees very milky, I like my coffees very sweet. I'm not one of these who can drink these really strong coffees, which was another reason why it kind of always put me off coffees, as opposed to tea. But I've really started to like coffees more lately, and I have these coffees quite a lot. However, the past couple of days, I've been having tea a little bit more, because basically I've got a shed load of tea bags. Like, I think I've got between 80 and 100 tea bags, essentially. I have coffee all the time. And these sachets, like, they're good, but they don't last long. So you have a couple of coffees, that's 2 sachets gone. As opposed to these sachets over tea bags, like, you can buy a pack of like 80 tea bags. Sachets, you get like a pack of 10, or you get a pack of, I think there is a pack, you can get an XL pack and you get 24 in them. But like, even 24 coffees, like, that soon goes, like, over the space of a couple of days. Whereas, tea bags, they don't seem to go as much. And they seem to last longer. So I'm trying to make the coffees last, rather than like just having the coffees all the time. So I've not had any for a couple of days now, just purely because I want to save on them. So like, I've been having a cup of tea instead, just for a little bit of a change. Just so like I'm not using all my coffees, because it's quite costly as well, like buying them all the time. So I just thought, I think the last time I had a coffee was on Sunday. I had some friends over, I made us both a coffee, and I think that was the last time I had one. And then I think the next time I decided that I'd have a cup of tea for a change instead. So that was literally it. But yeah, going back to this, so in Shrewsbury, so Sentient Ravers, and it's Magic and Mayhem. This is what the event's called. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. The flyer is, for me, the flyer is by far not the best. Like, I don't mean to sound harsh, but like, the flyer for me is by far not the best. However, it definitely, it does the job, but like, I just don't, I just think it looks quite, I don't know. I just think it looks a little bit like cheap, in all fairness. Like, it just looks to me like they've just got a background, they've stuck everybody's logo over it, they've wrote some text on it, and I'm just thinking, like, from a perspective of somebody who wants to maybe go raving, like, the lineup, like, apart from like the DJ logos, the lineup itself doesn't really sell itself, if that makes sense. Like, the whole like look and the whole feel of the poster doesn't really sell itself to me. Whereas I think personally, if you have something that looks a little bit more better, you've got a better chance of getting some more heads in, as opposed to, the poster they've got. I just, like I say, nothing against it as such. I just kind of feel that it just kind of has that cheap feel to it, and it kind of, like, sometimes because sometimes I think, like, it doesn't cost all that much to get a flyer done, and in all honesty, you can benefit from having a better, having a better event, by having a better flyer. And sometimes I think, for the sake of how much a flyer costs, like, I think it just alternatively means a better event, because it looks better for the advertisement of somebody who, say, wants to maybe come and attend this event. Whereas, of course, they look at the current poster, they might think, like, this isn't that good, and that's no offences, nothing against the promoters. I'm just as excited to play. I just sometimes feel that sometimes, it's good to have a good flyer, and especially from my perspective of, like, wanting to share the poster and stuff online, like, because I'm sharing it in the hope that people will see, oh, look, I'm playing there, and then it will make other people, like, well, look, I want to play, I want to come and see him play. Do you know what I mean? In that kind of sense. But that is just that is just essentially my sort of what I feel, you know. But obviously, everybody's different in that sense. So I'm just having a look because sometimes I'm a little bit cheeky. I'm not gonna lie, and sometimes I go and decide that, you know what, I'm gonna make a poster for the event, and then sometimes I send it to the event promoter, and I'm a little bit like, do you know what, like, just looks a bit better. And I found a poster here. I found like a template, and it's not all that bad. I think it could pass as being the the flyer for it, but I don't know. Personally, I'm not totally sure, but it doesn't look bad, and I reckon I could probably change it up in that sense. But let's have a look. If I just... Okay, so I think there's more here. Oh no. Can we not change that? Oh, I see. That's an image, not text. Alright, well, I'm not using that template. I do a lot of thingy. Like I make a lot of posters at work, so this one doesn't look too bad actually. Even if the original poster does say sexy night. Magic. It's not bad, personally. Like, it's not horrible, but it's not the best. So I'll probably have a look tomorrow. But anyway, we're going there in April. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. It feels like we're starting to slowly kick off 2022. There's now a gig in January, 2025, sorry. I don't know where I got 22 from. Yeah, we've got a gig in January now, which has kind of made me happy. There's some people, like I know Andy Whitby, he likes to have a break in January. And not do bookings, but he's like mega manic and busy. But he, like I say, he's kind of, he's up there, isn't he? Whereas me, like, I'm still pushing and progressing. And sometimes I feel like, as much as like you can feel tired, like it's not always a good idea to have a break, because like the thing about the music scene is like there's so many up and comers, and the minute like you slack as an up and comer, you can be replaced by somebody else, or you can be forgotten about. So I like to keep pushing all the time and take as many opportunities as possible, and try and stay as busy as possible. And I hate just sitting around. I hate not having gigs. I'm not playing anywhere this weekend, and I hate that. I'd love to say I'm going down to so-and-so this weekend, just because that's kind of what I like doing. That's my life, and that's what's, putting, it's putting, my, like, hobby, in action. I'm doing what I love. So, I hate the time off, even though I probably need it sometimes. But I just hate doing nothing. I hate having nothing to do. I hate days where I'm not doing anything. Whereas, because I had this discussion with the layman earlier. My first day back at work today, and he was back in radio today, and I was like, like, buzzing, and then he's like, I don't know why you're buzzing. It's me going in, and I was like, I'm just buzzed that things are going back to normal. And he's like, I'm not. And it really shows that like some people don't really like if they have a day like where there's nothing really on, like they enjoy it. They like it. Whereas me, I don't. Like, I hate just like things. Like, I like routine. I like things happening each week. Like I'm used to work, music lab on a Monday, studio on a Thursday, office days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you know, um, certain things happening. And then like over Christmas, that obviously we've not been working, so it's been like no music lab, no studio, no work office, and then I've had all these days where I haven't had to go to work, and I've been doing all these different, like other things, and I don't like it, and I hate days where I'm sat at home. Like on Monday, for example, I briefly went into town about lunchtime, and then for the rest of the day, I was literally at home. Like, I didn't go out the house, which, I am not keen on that. Like, I don't like that. Like, like where I'm just sat at home and I've got nothing on. It kind of aggravates me. I get like aggravated because like I sometimes like I hate being stuck in for too long, and once I've like been live and I've had a mix and I've worked on a tune, I'm like I've done it, and I want to go out and do something now and then come back home later. I like days where I get up in the morning and then like I'm doing something all throughout the day, and then I don't really chill out till bedtime because then the day's gone. Like the day's over. Whereas like when I've just got hours of nothing really planned, I don't, like at a stretch, I like it on a Sunday because like I've done stuff all through the week and it's like one day where I don't really do anything. But when like I say over Christmas and there was like 2 or 3 days where I had no work, I had nowhere to be, nothing to do. I really didn't like it. Whereas other people like they like it and they hate having things to do. When they have to be up and be somewhere the next morning, they don't like that because they'd rather just chill the day away, watch movies, lay in bed because they can't be asked to face the day. Not me. But anyway, that's going to do it for this stream. Make sure to like, comment, share. 2 exciting gigs, and there is more to be announced as we obviously blaze through this year already. Last year we did over 30 gigs. This year up to now, I currently so one we announced last year, which is a trance night in March. We've got the one next week now, which is good. There's another event to announce in March, so that's free. And then we've got the one in April to announce, which we've just announced tonight. So that's 4 bookings already this year. It's not too bad, the beginning of the year, it always is a little bit, it's always is a bit sketchy, the beginning of the year is always very quiet. I know this time last year, my January and February was very quiet. I did a couple of, like I went to Fusion a couple of times and did a Fusion Friday, which I enjoyed them, by the way. And I think this time I didn't get on the posts quick enough to do them. But I'm going there in March anyway. So, I think once we get into March, like things will slowly start rolling in, and we'll, and then when we get towards like the spring and the summer, that's when like I'll be, getting quite busy again, because that's kind of what happened last year, where I kind of, where I kind of had like, all these, like just a bit of a slow beginning. And we got into March, and there was a couple of gigs in March, and then we kind of went on from there. So we'll see what happens. I'll be returning to the book at some point as well, in Driffield for another night. I'm actually been meaning to message them, because I would like to get some dates in the pipeline of when I can go there, get a couple of dates in the pipeline already, or at least get the first date in the pipeline. Again, maybe try and do something maybe in like a March or April, maybe, or see what they say, essentially. So that might be something I'll do tomorrow, see if we can get on, just to see, if there is anything in the pipeline, that they want to have me back, and get kind of like a date set in stone, and we'll take things from there, essentially, and we'll do that kind of thing. So yeah, so that's gonna do it. Make sure to like, comment, share. See you soon.